Hey friend, thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. The video that you're about to see was originally recorded via Facebook Live for our weekly Work It Wednesday series. Any links mentioned in the video will be down below in the description, so make sure you check those out. And I would love to have you join me over on our Facebook page for a weekly dose of tips and tricks for your direct sales business. Thanks for joining. Hey you guys. Oh, there we go. We're live. It wasn't coming up for a second. Hey guys, this is Mary Haynes with Doggone Virtual. Hey to all of our replay warriors. Thanks so much for coming back and hanging out with us. So we are talking about vendor events, you guys. Vendor events, yay! This is the season for the vendor things. So I wanted to hop on really quick and give you guys some tips on how to rock your next vendor event. So these can be a little tricky if you haven't done them before, and they can be honestly a little intimidating if you haven't done them before. So let's think through how we maximize these, because they can be huge business boosters for your direct sales business. So we want to make sure we're doing those. When I first started in direct sales, I realized that, my friends and family can only purchase so many items that I sell. And so I really wanted to make sure that I got outside that friends and family circle as quickly as possible. And vendor events are a really good way to do that. It's a good way to meet people in your community. It's a good way to expand your circle so you're not talking to the same people over and over and over again. When I trained my new consultants, my new team members, I would always tell them, I want you to run outside your friends and family circle. Like, that's the goal, is to get outside that circle as fast as possible and to expand your warm market, because you guys, your family and friends can only have so many things. Like, my family and friends, I sold Paper Chef. My family and friends can only have so many kitchen things, right? So we've got to get outside that circle and expand our customer base. And vendor events are a really good way to do that. And it's just fun. So here we go. First tip, number one, be clear about your goals for the event. You guys hear me talk about goals like a lot. It's no different than vendor events. So when you're thinking about your vendor event, what do you want to get out of this event? Hey, Miss Stacy. What do you want to get out of this event? Do you want bookings? Do you want sales? Are you like, what's your purpose? Or if it's a bridal show, do you want registries if your company allows you to do registries, or maybe you create those on your own? So you have to think through, what is the purpose of the event? Because I can tell you, when you walk into an event, now that I'm telling you this trick, you will see clearly what people's goals are. So someone who has a sales goal, so Stacy's on here, so I'm gonna pick on her for a second. Let's pretend Stacy wants to sell stuff. Like, she has got a bunch of little products and she's started this hair bow business for little girls. And so she wants to sell hair bows, right? She doesn't want book parties, she wants to sell hair bows. What is she gonna have in her booth? She's gonna have a ton of hair bows, right? If you are selling small items like spices, or you're selling small items like candle melts, those wax melts, hey Heather, those things, you're gonna have stacks of those things, right? Your purpose is selling stuff and maybe capturing some information from people as they purchase, right? So you're gonna have stock, you're gonna have inventory. If your goal is bookings, and I'm gonna say this is probably your best bet, unless it's the best use of your time, unless you sell little bitty things and that's just your purpose. Some people just do vendor events, guys, and that's totally fine if that's how you want to work your business. Totally fine. But if your purpose is bookings, their display is going to be a lot simpler. It's not going to have a lot of stuff. You're going to have a few pieces that you highlight. You're going to want to keep your display very simple and clean, because you're trying to attract bookings for people to get the things for free. Make sense? So when you walk into a vendor event, you should be able to walk up and down the aisles and be like, yep, they're trying to sell stuff. Yep, they're trying to book parties. You should be able to see a difference. So be clear about your goal when you go into the event, because that's going to change how you pack your bag, what stuff you bring. It's going to be very different selling versus booking parties, okay? My goal was always to book parties. I don't need to sell stuff. I can sell stuff when I get to the party, right? I wanted to book parties. I wanted to meet new people and get new circles. Tip number 2, I kind of alluded to this. Keep your display simple, you guys. You don't need huge, like crazy, complicated displays. It detracts from your product. So you want to keep your key items. If you've got new products, make sure those new ones are featured, okay? Make sure you've got some new stuff on there. My favorite, you guys, my favorite. was with Pampered Chef, we were around for almost 40 years. 40 years next year is when the company was started. So I would love it when people would be like, oh, I have everything. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, really? You have everything? So I would always feature a piece that had come out in the last couple of years and be like, oh, so you must love this piece. And they were like, I don't have that. You don't have everything, okay? So make sure you're featuring those new things to get people interested, especially if they've been around the product for a long time. Make sense? So make sure you've got your seasonal stuff. If you're like, you sell smelly stuff, the body stuff and the face and the wax melts and stuff like that, make sure you've got some seasonal stuff there, right? Because I know for fall and Christmas, I want my house to smell good. I want it to smell like fir trees, which we don't have in Florida, and cinnamon and baking and all those other fun things. I don't want spring smells. I want fall smells if I'm going to a fall vendor event. Make sense? So make sure that you've got a simple, just cohesive display. It should not be cluttered. Just don't make yourself crazy bringing every single product in your kit. People always ask, well, what should I bring? Keep it simple, you guys. Keep some featured items. That's easy peasy. And then remember, you got to tote that stuff in and you got to tote that stuff out. So you don't want to make it complicated. Another thing you can do with your displays, keep it super simple. Frames, okay? Don't just, you can use the plastic plexi kind of frames that you can get, displays that you can get at Staples or Office Max, but guys, those cheap, inexpensive frames from Michael's or Hobby Lobby with a coupon or even Amazon or Target, they're going to be prettier and they're going to be less expensive, and then you can use it for pictures later. But you can put it in a frame and then stick it up on a display. I always like to have a little bit of height to my displays. So I got wood crates, super inexpensive. I want to say they were like $5 or $6 from Michael's, unfinished wood crates, and I would turn them sideways. And so there was a hole, you know, like in the middle. So I would put stuff in there and then I would put stuff on top. Make sense? Okay. I know another time we had a really big vendor event, we used the those cubes, like you can get at Target or Walmart, that just has the cubes in it. We use those and we filled those up with product. So it really just, it kind of depends on how much space you have too. All right. So keep it simple, key products, give it some height, make sure your signs are clearly labeled. Tip number 3, don't hand out catalogs. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but here's the deal, you guys. Those people are walking around to multiple vendors, and catalogs are expensive, okay? For most of us, they're not cheap to buy those catalogs. You do not want your catalogs ending up in the trash because you handed them out and then, you know, maybe someone decided they didn't want it. You could have a postcard, inexpensive postcard that's like 10-15 cents to get printed with all your information on it. If your company has many catalogs, those are usually a lot less expensive. You can still put your information on there and have that there for them to take as well when you talk to someone. Seriously, I never ever had orders come back from my big catalogs more than I had from my minis. So don't even stress about spending all that money on those big catalogs. It's not worth it. What I did do, tip on sharing the catalog, I did take, so people could see a catalog, I took a binder, just a plain binder, and what if you have a previous catalog? Oh, totally. Heather, good point. Heather, you can totally offload your previous catalog and be like, contact me for a new one. That's a great point. You can also leave those in offices and stuff like that, for sure. You can definitely unload those. Just don't do your current ones because you already paid money for those. Don't do those. What I did with my current catalog is I would put them in a binder with sheet protectors. So I would rip that catalog apart, put each page in a sheet protector, and if someone wanted to see their current catalog, they could just stand there and flip through it. I got your catalog, here you go, flip through it. But again, I'm not going to give them out my brand new ones because I want to use those at my parties. Make sense? I want to use those for my hostesses and my customers at my in-home parties. All right, so good point, Heather, thanks for that. Okay, number 4, have your 30-second spiel ready to go. Have your 30-second commercial ready to go. It is not, I mean, you pick on Pampered Chef again because that's who I was with. It is not, hey, my name is Mary and I sell Pampered Chef. Like, okay, what does that tell me? Okay, so you need to make sure that you have your 30-second little commercial ready to go. I help make mealtime easy. I help, you know, I'm thinking of the Ruby Ribbon girls. I make sure your girls stay in the right place. I'm thinking of, I mean, think of a 30-second commercial and practice it. It should be your purpose, what you hope to do. You hope to make mealtime easier, something very simple. I see you guys laughing at me. Something very simple, but it should answer the question what you do. It isn't, you are not your brand. Sorry, you are not your brand. You are you. And so yes, you represent a certain company, but what value are you hoping to provide to this person? That's what's going to get them in conversation with you. Make sense? So make sure you have that ready to go, okay? And also be ready to answer what your product is. You guys, Pampered Chef, again, was around for almost 40 years next year. So when I was in the field, it was 30 plus years, and I still every day, not every day, but every time I had a vendor event, someone would walk up and say, I've never heard of Pampered Chef. I'm like, have you been under a rock? I didn't say that, but in my head I thought that. So don't think for a second that everybody knows what your company is. You need to have a clear statement about what your company is, especially if you're a newer direct sales company. You need to be clear about what products you provide and what value you provide, okay? What solutions are you going to provide for this person? And how do you do it? Do you do through in-home parties, online parties? Include that in your statement. So it might be something like, I'm just spitballing, it might be something like, I provide quick and easy mealtime solutions through in-home and virtual party experiences. Done. And it said nothing about Pampered Chef, right? So think of something like that. I provide memory making solutions through jewelry. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can work that. And most of you guys kind of are good about having some sort of purpose statement and some sort of reason that you're doing and your business and what value you provide. All right, next, ask a qualifying question. Okay, I'm gonna get a little sassy on this one. Every single person that walks by your booth is not your ideal client. Newsflash. Every single person that walks by is not your ideal client, you guys. So we need to ask questions and engage them in conversation so we aren't wasting our time. The reason we're there is to get new business, right? So we don't want to spend all our time wasting our time having a conversation with someone when our ideal client could be walking by and we miss them. So we need to ask some qualifying questions, okay? So I'm thinking of my jewelry girls. I'm thinking of Nancy Pie right now. So my jewelry girls, hey, do you prefer gold or silver? Ask some questions. And if they're like, oh, I'm allergic to all the jewelry or I don't wear jewelry, you're not my ideal client. Keep on trucking. Have a nice day, right? Or if it's, oh, yeah, I don't like food at all. Not my ideal client. See ya. See what I'm saying? So ask some questions. I know that's a funny way to do it, but ask some questions so you know if this is a person that you need to engage in conversation and then continue to offer her value. Make sense? Or him. If they don't like, if they're allergic to everything, that may be a little hard if you sell spices that have allergens in it. They're not your ideal client. Make sense? So you got to be careful and with your time because you're only there for a limited amount of time and those people are going to be walking by, so you want to maximize the time you have, okay? All right, so ask a qualifying question. Do you prefer? Do you like? Have you ever done? Are you a microwave cook or a crock pot cook? How do you prefer to cook? I mean, there's so many different things that you can ask. Do you like, I don't know, fashion people? What are your favorite colors? Do you like to wear dresses in the fall? Do you like to wear leggings? Or for, you know, the LuLaRoe type girls. Do you like to wear leggings? Ask some questions, y'all. Ask some questions. Number 6, have a way to capture information. You guys, if you don't capture information, there's no reason. Because clearly they clean between. Yes, Heather, perfect point. Yeah, they do have to. They have to clean something, right? So, do they clean their house? Do they not clean their house? So, ask some cleaning questions, right? What's your least favorite thing to clean in your house? That would be a perfect question for you Norworks girls. What's your least favorite thing to clean in the house? Or you could ask what their favorite thing to clean is in the house, and that would probably get some funny responses too. So there you go. Okay, have a way to capture info. So what I always like to do is give away something. It could be something small. I kind of use the philosophy of if I could walk into a booking store and I could purchase a guaranteed booking off the shelf, how much was I willing to pay for it? So that was the value that I was aiming for when I was going after a booking. And so that would be kind of like the value that I would offer as a freebie for someone to book a party. So I would want to capture their information with some sort of prize drawing slip, and then I would pick a winner based on that value that I had assigned the event. So it really kind of depended on how much my calendar needed, right? Or how big the event was, how much, it kind of depended on a few things. In my personal mind and my personal business, it was usually around a $20 to $25 value. I feel like that gets people to give me their name and their information. So you want to have a way to capture their information. It could be a little prize drawing slip. Keep it simple, you guys. Don't make them fill out like 15 things. Name, email, phone number. Keep it simple. Some little slip with your information, you know, what it's for, and then give them a place to put it. So you could put a bowl out there. You could put a little basket, something cute. Make sure it's clear that you're doing some sort of giveaway. And let me give you guys a little hint. Okay. So let's pretend that nobody, like, I didn't like putting the booking and recruiting stuff on there because most people would say no. But I'm still going to follow up anyway and make sure they don't have a lady that's going to help them, right, with their kitchen needs. So I would put that, you know, they would write down their information. Then I would contact every single person. Every single person got a prize if they booked a party. Okay? Not everybody booked a party, but everybody got a prize. Okay? Everybody's going to get a free cooking show because I'm going to bring the ingredients. Everybody's going to get a free thing when they host their party. See that? Because you're going to make more off the party typically than you're going to spend on that prize, and it's a guaranteed booking. Make sense? So there you go. It doesn't have to be just one winner. Everybody can win a free thing. See that? So, but make sure that you have a way to capture that information. Clipboards, you guys. Clipboard, clipboard, clipboard. Because they're going to be standing there like writing on their friend's back or leaning over on your table, and you got pretty stuff on your table and you don't want them messing up your table. So make sure that you've got some way, pens and some clipboards, where you can just stick a prize drawing slip in there, hand them a clipboard. Would you like to enter to win a free blah, blah, blah? Capture their information and keep on trucking, okay? And then, you know, put it in your little basket. You also kind of want to take notes. If you sat there and had a great conversation with Heather and she's running around with a cute little toddler and you're talking about her kid and you're talking about, you know, other things, make a little note on there so when you reconnect with her, you can bring that up. I remember you loved da 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 for your daughter. So you can bring that up in the conversation and help you personally jog your memory of who that person was, right? And then number 7, this is where we're getting a little bit sassy, okay? Follow up. You guys, I've seen this happen way too many times. If you're not going to follow up with every single person that is willing to give you their name and information, don't bother doing the event. Don't bother doing the event. Seriously. You could more easily and with less trouble just flush 40 bucks or 75 bucks down the toilet, okay? Because nobody's going to come like screaming to your door and being like, oh my gosh, I want to buy your products and I want to book a party. That's not how it happens, guys. That's not how it happens. You've got to be the one to reach out and follow up. They were willing to give you their name. They're interested. It was like a first date, okay? They're interested. They're expecting to hear something from you, okay? So make sure that you follow up. Otherwise, you can just take that whole bucket of names that you got and all that money and just throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash. You've got to make the time 24 hours is what I would say. Sooner the better to follow up, you guys. Google form, that's a good idea. Stacey, you could do a Google form. My only concern with the Google form would be, and here I have an idea about the Google form, would be, are they actually going to do it on their phone right then and there? Okay, I would kind of want the paper so I can take notes. I liked taking it and doing that. The Google form though, you could, if there is an event Facebook for the vendor event, if there's a Facebook page or there's something like that, you could totally ask the coordinator, say, hey, I'd love to give away some more stuff. Can I post a prize drawing on the event page? Or say, hey guys, post on social media, hey guys, I'm giving away some stuff at my blah, blah, blah vendor event today. If you can't make it out, go ahead and enter for a prize. I'm giving away some stuff, and post it on Facebook too. So you could use the Google form in that way, and that would keep it super easy peasy. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if they would, you could try it and see what happens. They're usually pretty apt to fill out the paper. Okay, so day after follow-up, you would say something, you would just say, hey, I've got, I'm go with Heather again. Hey Heather, it's Mary with Pamper Chef. We met at the blah 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 vendor event a couple of days ago. I've got great news. You won the blah 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 thing when you book your own party with, you know, you can always say something like you didn't win. I'm just kind of going off cuff. You didn't win the grand prize, but you did win the blah 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 when you host your own party. Would you be interested in getting some friends together to earn some free stuff? Super simple, you guys. Super duper simple. And you could always, too, if they gave you their cell phone number, you could always text it. I know sometimes the phone can feel like a million pounds, but you could text it, you could email it, and see if you get some stuff there. The goal would be to book the party that day. That would really be the goal while they're in front of you. And so you want to probably have some host packets and stuff ready to go. But you could, sorry, just almost like blanked them. I got to drink my coffee here. You could offer something special if they book the day of the party too. I mean, the day of the event. So if they book at the event, you could offer something a little bit bigger or something a little bit different, and then do all that follow up with the other people. You guys, it's nothing to walk away with 3, 4, 5, 6 parties. I mean, imagine what that would be like. It does take some legwork. I'm not gonna lie, vendor events take some legwork. But these are all people that you had zero knowledge of and zero connection with before you walked in the door that day. Imagine when you rock the party and when you do good customer care and when you build those relationships, how explosive those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parties are when you get them going. Make sense? Vendor events can be huge for your business, you guys. Huge. So when I first started, I tried to have one every quarter-ish, so like 3 to 4 a year, because you know, it's always good to keep that influx of new people coming into your business. And then as you build your customer base and you're expanding a little bit, then you don't have to do them as often, okay? All right, I hope that answered lots of questions. For the Google form and event page, additional prize, capture those that did not make it to your table. Yes. Is that a question, Ellen? Forum and event page with additional prize, capture those that did not make it to your table. Yes, I think. I can't see if that's a question. Yeah, so the Google form posted on the event page. If, yeah, totally. Like if the event coordinator is good with that, and you guys be nice to those event coordinators. Bring her a little goodie bag, okay? Bring her a little goodie something, something, because you know what? She's working hard or he's working hard, and they're running around like crazy, and not all the vendors are nice. Not all the vendors are nice. So they're going to remember when you show up on time, you leave on time, you break down on time, and you're nice. So make sure you build those relationships. And then before you leave, say, hey, Ellen, oh my gosh, I loved this vendor event so much. Could I go ahead and book my spot for next year? Right? Now, if it's a dud, don't do that. But if it was a great event, go ahead and get that thing booked for next year, y'all. Go ahead and get it booked for next year, okay? And that way you have them on your calendar for next year, and then people start to recognize you when you show up 2 years in a row, because you know they go to the same vendor events. Make sense? All right? Okay, you guys, I think that's it. Did I get all the questions? Yes, bring coordinator goodie bag. I always brought them some little something, just a small product. Yeah, just a small product. I gave them a catalog because I knew them and I could follow up with them. If you're gonna give out those big catalogs, make sure you got a way to follow up with them, faux show, because you don't want to give away your expensive stuff. You got to get something in return. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys. Hope that was helpful. I'm super excited. You guys, let me know. What are you gonna implement? What are you gonna try? What are you gonna tweak? What are you gonna change? Like I said, vendor events can be like intimidating because I personally, I'm an introvert, if you guys didn't know that yet. I get to talk to you guys through my computer screen, so it doesn't bother me as much, but put me in a crowded room and I just go into a clamshell. So I don't like it. But I did it anyway because I knew it helped my business. For sure. Yeah, Heather, totally. Go for the booking. Yes, you can definitely find people that want to book at the parties at the events. And talk to your neighbors, you guys. Talk to those other vendors. Those other vendors, even other direct sellers, you could do a party swap, right? You could get into their circles. Your neighbors, build some relationships with them. You could even bring a little goodie bag for your neighbors. You don't know who they are, but if you like them, be like, hey, I brought a little goodie bag for you. Oh yeah, they'll book with a complete stranger. Totally. I've booked parties on the spot before, for sure. Yep. Have your calendar there, be ready to go. But go for the booking, ask, you know, I'm giving away a blah, blah, blah. when you schedule a party today, would you be interested? Obviously, that's not what I'm going to hit them with first. We're going to talk about what's new. We're going to show them the new products, what they can get at 60% off or 50% off or whatever your host special is. We're gonna chat it up a little bit, but by then we're besties. We're besties by then, right? So be personal, make eye contact, stay off your phone. Your phone doesn't need to be there unless you're collecting payments, okay? Your phone doesn't need to be out, you guys. Yes, yes. Make your commercial and keep your display simple. Don't overcomplicate the things, guys. Simple is good. Simple is good. And color. Color was Tori. We should have Tori on here. She has a booth at a market for her product. And she was showing us pictures one time. And it's like, color. Do something that's attractive. If you have an avatar, like in my business, I had a cute little avatar that kind of looked like me. She was on all my signs. And it was really attractive. So don't just use your branded signs from your company. If you have a personal brand or a logo, make sure that thing's on there, y'all. Make sure it's on there. Okay, you guys, have a fabulous, fabulous Wednesday. Thanks again for joining us and or joining me. There's no us. It's just me.